breachers. It was a network of people, including those who claimed to have infiltrated the zone, and the people on the inside that enabled them. Where there's an iron-fisted ruling authority, there's always a resistance. And as wonderfully weird as everything we've heard about the zone has been so far, these breachers honestly take the cake. This is Frequency File, Episode 8. Infiltrating the Olympic Exclusion Zone is a whole lot of work. To start, you'd have to get through, past, or over a 300-meter outer wall. There were layers upon layers of security checkpoints, and the zone was carved out into sectors, each with very specific clearance requirements. If you were somehow able to make it through all of that, then you'd start dealing with the rampant radiation and a whole host of other dangers. So imagine my surprise to hear that there were people who made a whole career out of wall breaching.
Yeah, I lived in the zone for 10 years. My partner worked for ARDA, and I came along for the ride. After a while, I got bored and thought, hey, why not put my years of experience smuggling contraband to good use?
This is Carolyn Murrell. Not her real name, of course, as she was the ringleader of an illicit smuggling ring. If you needed a pack of your favorite brand of smokes from the outside or a souvenir from the inside, Carolyn was your gal.
I mean, yeah, by all measures, it was an easy life on the inside. ARDA took care of most everything. Groceries to your door, free housing. Salary was good. You didn't have much to use it on, but at least you know you'd be set with savings and pension when you eventually went back into the real world.
So you didn't run the smuggling ring for money?
No. Because honestly, once you get used to the anomalies and instability that comes sweeping through, the hardest thing to fight was boredom. I mean, that was constant and never-ending. Every day was very much the same. Wake up, check the weather and stability reports, boil water and wish you had coffee, wait for your partner to come home, then sit around and repeat the same conversations night after night.
So the smuggling kept things interesting. What were the most common things requested?
All people inside wanted was coffee, cigarettes, and vodka. All the good vices. What outside people wanted was the interesting stuff. Anything anti-gravity was popular, and the occasional ask for a live anomaly. We didn't take those requests seriously. These usually came from tourists who were rich and desperate to prove that they'd actually been inside the zone to their rich friends.
I'm sorry, back up. You're saying there was zone tourism?
Oh, yeah. And not the solo breacher variety either. Like sanctioned, scheduled itinerary type tours.
How was that possible? All I've heard is how strict ARDA's security was.
Well, it's true. ARDA had eyes everywhere. But even they couldn't secure the entire border. Not with the instability wreaking havoc on everything. Especially when ARDA's funding began to wind down. They eased up on security, so it got easier in the later years.
Carolyn was generous enough to connect me to Ellison Nagata, who claims to have operated the tours in question. How much did it cost to tour the zone?
Wouldn't you like to know? Let's just say I was able to retire in my early 40s.
Okay, then how did you manage to sneak tour groups in without ARDA noticing?
Logistics? Logistics. Let me tell you what your listeners will really want to hear. The tour packages. By far the most popular, the Anomaly Safari. We'd load tourists up in a transport vehicle and follow any route available to us and see what had come out of the woodwork. And let me tell you, it never disappointed. You ever see a 100-foot tall tree walk? One crossed the road right in front of us. I had a few repeat customers. One couple commissioned a private tour to see the old wall. Dangled a real big tip for me if I got them all the way through into the deep zone. But it turns out I value my life way more than finding a way through that insanity.
And when it came to the topic of Dr. Ophelia Turner, amazingly, the breachers all knew of her and had the most consistently positive opinions of her.
Never met the woman. But she was a regular and one of my best customers. She paid in advance, ordered consistently, and never made a fuss. She's the sharpest broad I've ever come in contact with. I have no doubts that she did exactly what all the legends claimed.
Oppie? Oh, she was not a fan of my work. Gave my tour quite a thrill when she stopped our van and nearly threw us all out into the radiation to die. Oh, you should have seen her face, though, when the tourists realized that she was the Dr. Ophelia Turner of legend. Oh, yeah, she was the biggest celebrity when it came to the zone, and everyone wanted a picture with her.
I sat in on some of her seminars. There wasn't a thing about Lim that she didn't know. She was one of a kind.
So what do you think? Was she a martyr, a myth, or a monster?
Not a myth. She was a real deal.
Martyr, whatever that woman did, she did for the greater good.
The way she tried to sabotage my business? You'd think I'd call her a monster, but she was a lioness, defending her territory. I didn't bring people into the zone because it was the right thing to do, and I knew it. So yeah, I guess of the three, martyr? She knew how bad things were getting, but she stuck it out anyway. She went down with that ship. I could only respect her for that.